Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. I want to share something with you that I hope I can help a lot of people out there suffering like I am with gluten sensitivity. Now this is for people that are non-celiac, that are sensitive to gluten. About, I don't know, several years ago, I learned that I have family members that are gluten intolerant now. They also have celiac disease. And I've been hearing more and more of this going on. It's like an epidemic. Back when I was a kid, late 60s, 70s, 80s, and even in the 90s, I didn't hear nothing about this. You never heard nothing. Then I remember in the early 2000s, you started hearing about this, maybe late 90s, I'm not sure, but it was somewhere around that 2000 time that I started hearing more and more about this gluten intolerance, and then you start seeing all these foods that are gluten-free and all that stuff. So something happened back in the 90s maybe that's causing people to get sick. Something happened. So and then myself, what was it, 2-3 years ago, I realized that I'm gluten sensitive too. Once I started eating bread, I was getting sick all the time, and I stopped eating it, and I was wonderful. And then I tried eating it again, sick. Stopped eating it, I was fine. And I don't need a doctor to tell me that. Okay. So, me being Italian and eating bread all the time and never having a problem with it, neither my family or anything, all this time until boom, in the last 10-15 years, maybe 15-20 years ago, you started hearing about this gluten sensitivity. So I did a lot of research trying to figure out what is going on, and I hear all kinds of stuff. From it's all in your head to this is what's causing it. So I'm trying to figure out what is causing this, why all of a sudden this change. So something had to change. So I started doing research on the wheat, and here in the United States especially, the wheat has changed incredibly. Back in the 1960s, they really made an effort into hybridizing the wheat, and they started hybridizing with other varieties. Now this is not GMO, this is just taking different species of wheat and cross-pollinating them or whatever to hybridize them to produce a different type of wheat. And they were successful, and they wanted, their idea was to feed feed the world basically, and that was great. The problem is, in doing so, they created a wheat that the gluten structure is too complex, too hard for our stomachs to digest anymore. They created a wheat that has a bigger wheat head, and it's shorter. Because back when I was a kid, wheat used to be 3-4 feet tall, whatever it was, and with a smaller head. Now they created a wheat that's got a bigger head. The berries or whatever are actually bigger, much bigger, but the plant is much shorter. It's only like a foot or so tall. It's not that tall anymore. The idea was great: produce more wheat and feed the world. The problem is they didn't understand that the gluten structure is too complex now and very hard to digest. That's one thing. So that happened back in the 60s through the 70s, and they really didn't introduce that, I think, until in the late 80s and then in the 90s, basically. So that could be one problem. Another problem with American wheat is that it's bromated. In other words, it contains potassium bromate. Potassium bromate is a carcinogen and a genotoxin, and it causes cancer in laboratory mice. It's banned in most all the countries in the world except for the United States. Isn't that strange? So why would you allow this? I know it's supposed to help the flour and the baking and all that stuff, but why would you allow this poison to be put in our food just to make the bread and flour look nicer and whatever. Why wouldn't they ban it here? So that could be another problem. So another problem could be glyphosate. Now, glyphosate is the ingredient in Roundup, the weed killer. And there's been a lot of stuff on glyphosate lately, and it's, a lot of people say it's harmless. To me, it is a toxic poison. Now, what they do here is they spray the crops. Now, this isn't practiced all over, but there's some places that do this in the United States. They spray the wheat crop right near the end before the harvest. They spray the whole crop with glyphosate, and it kills the wheat all at the same time, so they can harvest it all at the same time. That to me blows me away. That just completely blows me away. Why would you put a toxic poison on our food just so it makes it easier and more convenient to harvest? That's crazy. I got some stuff written down here. Glyphosate has 4 patents from what I've researched. It is back in the 1960s, they got a patent as a chelating agent. Then they got another patent on it that's a herbicide, kills all the plants. It is a anti-parasitic and antimicrobial, okay? Kills all parasites and microorganisms. Biocide kills the ecology of the soil, all the soil microorganisms. So what that means is that by spraying it on your soil, some people, what they do on their farms, they don't spray it on their crop anymore. They spray it on the soil. It kills all the weeds, right? So when they plant their crop, the crop grows fine and it's all weed free. Okay. So what that means is, it's a microorganism. It kills all the microorganisms in the soil. So what that means is the soil is basically dead. If you don't have bacteria in your soil, your plants cannot really absorb the minerals in the soil. Because the minerals, when they break down organic material, they release an enzyme or an acid, and and in turn doing so, they how would you say it? They dissolve the minerals around them into a form that the plants can use, and therefore we eat the plants and we get those minerals. So if the plant's not getting the minerals, they're very unhealthy. We eat them, it doesn't do us much good. Not to mention the glyphosate that's in the soil. So we have these problems now with our wheat, that it's hybridized, very hybridized, and the gluten structure is too difficult for our guts to digest. The gluten protein, or whatever it is, it's too difficult to digest. We have the bromate problem. It is just a toxic poison. We have glyphosate to worry about. We went the organic route. So we went organic, but I still got sick, and I believe it's because my gut was too far gone already. And now when the gluten structure gets in there, the cells of your lining of your intestines are just too fragile, I guess you would say, and very sensitive to it. Okay, that was my theory anyways. So doing more research, and I was reading all these different, I was looking for a wheat that was different, okay, more of the original wheat. So I went with the einkorn, but again, the gluten, I must have been too far gone, and it was too, my gut was too sensitive. So I'm doing all this research, and I kept coming across forums and reviews on different flours that I was doing, and I kept coming across people saying, you know, I have friends, or when we go to Italy, we can eat all the bread, pasta, and pizza, pastries, all we want over there, and we don't get sick. We come back here in the United States, and we get sick eating the wheat here. So obviously there's something different. The wheat that we use here is a hard wheat. The wheat that's mostly used in Europe is a soft wheat. So the gluten content in soft wheat is roughly 12.5%. And the gluten content in the hard wheat that we have here is 14 to 15%. The difference is not a whole lot. So I don't think that would make a difference in gluten sensitivity. It's the percentage is very close. But there's something about that soft wheat over there that's different than our wheat here. So I thought, wow, wonderful. All I have to do then is buy organic soft wheat berries and grind my own flour. So I did a lot of research on these different companies to find a soft wheat berry that was organic. So I did. And I found one website that was also tested to be glyphosate free. I said, perfect. We ordered just 5 pounds and we wanted to just try it out. So we ordered it, ground up some flour, made some bread, ate it, and I got sick. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? So what I ended up doing is I ordered right from Italy. It's called Caputo soft wheat 00 flour. Now the 00 means it's the grind, it's the fineness of the flour. So it's a fine grind flour. They have different systems. I think it goes 21000, and I think they have a 000. But that's the how fine the flour is ground. But I ordered, and this company is not the only one that makes it, but Caputo soft wheat 00 flour. We bought it. It comes from Italy. Got some company here now. What are you guys doing, huh? You want to chime in on what I'm talking about? Huh? All right. So, anyways, we got this. It's called Caputo flour, and we bought a small bag of it. Made some bread with it. My wife makes pizza with it now, and we make pasta and all kinds of stuff. But anyways, we made bread with it. I ate it. No problems. Nothing. We made more bread. We started making pizza with it. We started making all kinds of stuff with it. I had no problems. I was like, this is a godsend, because I've been praying about it. I'm like, Lord, there's got to be bread I can eat. You know, I mean, that's biblical. Bread is like the basis of your meal, basically, you know. Without bread, everything kind of boring, right? So anyways, I had no problems with this wheat, and it just blew me away. So we started buying this in 50 or 55 pound bags, okay, and we're storing it up. We're going to be vacuum sealing it and storing it for long-term use also. But anyways, this wheat is amazing. Now there's other companies that make it. When you order this wheat, make sure it says product of Italy, okay, and not from the United States. Caputo brand makes it. There's some other ones. I'll put them in the description below. But the flour is fantastic. The pizza dough comes out. The crust comes out crunchy. The inside comes out soft, and it tastes fantastic. It makes the best pizza. Now the flour is very fine, so the bread doesn't come out like your typical very rustic looking bread, but the bread tastes fantastic. We make pasta. We got the machine, and we're making pasta with it, and oh, let me tell you, there is nothing like homemade pasta. Is just absolutely fantastic, and I am just so overjoyed that I can eat bread again. I can eat pasta again. Pizza. Oh, it's, in fact, it is. This flour is known to make absolutely fantastic pizza dough. In fact, that's what it's basically used for, is mostly pizza dough. But you can make all kinds of stuff with it, pastries and you know, just use your imagination. So that's what we did, and that's what solved my problems with gluten sensitivity. Now this is for people that are non-celiac gluten sensitive. If you have celiac disease, you can't eat wheat. My advice, and I'm not a doctor or any of that stuff, but what I personally would do if you have celiac is obviously change your diet. Don't eat wheat. Try to eat as naturally as possible, your fruits and vegetables. As far as grains, you stick with your rice and things like that. Legumes, your beans, you know, eat those to your heart's content. And I would stick with that diet for as long as possible, of course. And then take probiotics. Take a good amount of probiotics, good quality probiotics, that will help heal your gut. Also, ferment your food. Sauerkraut, kimchi. We make our own sauerkraut and kimchi. Oh, it's fantastic. It's great. And you can eat that with your meal, you know, as a little side dish or something. Yeah, make your own. It's so simple. There's tons of videos on YouTube on how to make sauerkraut and kimchi. It's very simple. It ferments itself, you know, with the bacteria that's in the air and on the cabbage itself. Easy to make and so good for you, and it'll help heal your gut, whether you're celiac or non-celiac. Everybody should be eating fermented foods. I just want to share what I found is helping me for everyone out there that is suffering with gluten intolerance. Try this soft wheat flour. It's changed my whole world, because I thought that's it, I can't eat wheat anymore. What am I going to do? I'm Italian, you know, I got to eat bread. I got to have pasta. I was brought up with it, you know. So I hope this helps people out. In Italian, it's called, well, in American, of course, in English, it's soft wheat, and in Italian, it's grano tenero. That just means soft wheat. So when you read that, if it says grano tenero or soft wheat from Italy, make sure it says from Italy, then get it. I'm going to put some links in the description where you can get it. And I hope this will help everybody out. Buy a small bag, try it out, and you'll see, you'll be totally amazed if you have gluten sensitivity. All right, guys, so thank you for watching. I hope this helps you out. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video.